Okay, we're live. Let's get a few people in and have a chat. I've put out a couple of invites. We'll see what's what. If it's responding. Okay. Open up and make sure this is working. Yeah. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm just copying over to social media. Yo, what's up? TNT Management. Hope you're good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. MMA. Yeah. Sean Smith. Big up. Conor Benn takes the blame. Okay. All fighters will fight anybody. Okay, that's kind of how I see it. Oh, wait a second.
Yo.
Yo. What's up, my man?
Got a good fucking fight got announced. That's what I see.
Hey, how are you, my man?
Chilling. It's like a proliferation of stories that have my attention. So I'm like really trying to pump out content just because I've been waiting to talk shit about Fury for about 2 days now. And I'm really looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, I've seen that Derek Chisora says send the contract.
You know what's intriguing, Sporting? That the offer that was made wasn't made by Frank Warren or Bob Arum.
No, it was his Ringstar team, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why would an offer for Tyson Fury, the Gypsy Queen, not come from Bob Arum or Frank Warren? Is he a free agent?
Well, we know with his 5-fight deal with Top Ranks up, we know that much.
Yeah.
Queensbury one, no idea, man.
It's peculiar because we're essentially talking about a UK fight. If you're looking to get Derek Chisora in the ring, right? It's obviously for a UK audience, and we know that Fury can't enter into the United States, so fighting here is not even an option. And he's in the UK, and old fish eyes don't get to do the fight.
Makes you wonder what's going on.
Hey, man, he might try to negotiate the Usyk fight on his own and see if he could get as much money as he could get from Matchroom, because it's less complicated if it's just Matchroom and Fury and Usyk, or just Matchroom and Fury and AJ. It's less complicated.
Well, I mean, the thought process crossed my mind. Like, would it surprise you if his deal is up with Queensbury and he joins Boxer, Sky Sports? Because do you think that Joseph Parker went to Boxer and turned away from Frank Warren without speaking to Tyson Fury first?
I mean, yeah. But does Fury really want to fight though? You go to Boxer, right? Who you gonna fight? Michael Hunter?
Well, maybe we can have Fury versus Fury.
Yeah, what are we gonna get? Huey Fury versus Tyson Fury? I don't like, because he could get so much money doing the Mayweather thing right now. He could get a lot of money fighting Francis Ngannou. He could get a lot of money fighting Thor Bjornsson without putting himself in harm's way anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
I don't know, man. He's an enigma. He's always been an enigma. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
I don't know how the WBC can sanction him fighting Chisora when Chisora is not ranked in the top 15.
The WBC make up their rules as they go along, bro. He's a retired fighter that's still in possession of an alphabet title. They make up their rules as they go along.
That's right. Okay, so let me ask you this question then, Jules. Who takes the blame if Conor Benn gets badly hurt by Chris Eubank Jr.?
Conor Benn.
But I mean, isn't a case of, I mean, you speak with fighters all the time. A fighter will fight anybody, right?
Of course. Most of the time, that is the truth.
From them.
That is the truth. Like, a lot of people, I know that there are instances where fighters genuinely don't want to fight. There are those rare instances, but generally, fighter will fight anybody, man. They'll fight anybody for the right price.
Yeah, they will. But I mean, when you look back on some of it, I mean, think Chris Eubank Jr. versus Nick Blackwell. Think Chris Eubank Sr. versus Michael Watson. Nigel Benn versus Jared McLennan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the board got to say about this? Because the British Box Board of Control, they don't agree with catch weights.
I mean,
in this.
I look at it like this. This is a power play. If this is anything, this is a power play. I don't really believe that Eddie can force Conor into a situation like this. I think he kind of sort of like buttered him up, because if he can win this fight, he has the potential to become the face of boxing in the UK if he can win this fight.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, like, this is it's big. Like, I already see a lot of Americans. I already see Marcos Villegas of Fight Hub. It's not a big deal, bro. You like just chill, fam. Like, you don't understand. Ben versus Eubank, you don't understand. America didn't. I can wholeheartedly say, America did not appreciate that rivalry when it was going on, and we only now look back on it like, damn, that was some dope shit. So to see the sons go through this shit, like, I love that video. Chris Eubank Sr. wouldn't even look at the motherfucker. He wouldn't even face him. He had Nacho sitting behind. That shit was funny as shit, yo.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was after the second fight, wasn't it? I remember Chris Eubank Sr. The interviewers are trying to interview him, and he's like, "I need to go to the hospital. You don't understand. I need to go to the hospital."
That shit it's gold, and it's like to see that the sons is now picking up where the fathers left off. More importantly, if Conor Benn can avenge the loss for Nigel, that's big deal shit. That's like, yeah, he could be the face of boxing, at least over there. And if you think about what's going on right now, look, AJ might lose that Usyk fight. I hope he don't, but he might, right? So there goes one cash cow. Canelo's stubborn ass is gonna fuck around, want a B-ball fight, get his ass beat again. So Eddie need an ace in the hole, and this feel like a power play. If Conor can win this fight, you got yourself a box office superstar, another one.
But what if he gets absolutely pummeled?
Well, that definitely could happen, because Chris, I'm not a fan of Chris. I'm really not. I really don't like Chris. But as a physical specimen, he's very good. Yeah, I've never seen him tired. I've never seen him hurt. You know he can punch. You know what I mean? It's his execution that bothers me, that he pussyfoot around when, bro, don't pussyfoot around. Don't posture. Finish this motherfucker. He was playing with his food with Liam Williams. That shit pissed me off. He fighting like a diet Roy Jones right now. And what I'm hoping is that the catch weight will weaken him enough that Conor could get him.
Do we know what the catch weight is? Have they released it?
The number that I heard about a week ago was 156.
And the rehydration?
No idea if there even is a rehydration clause, but I'm going to assume there is, because Conor's not a big welterweight, let alone a middleweight. He don't have a middleweight frame.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'll look at it like this. Would you favor, okay, let's just say welterweight versus middleweight, okay? Forget the catch weight. I know there's a catch weight, but would you favor Conor Benn to be successful against a Errol Spence Jr. or a Terence Crawford?
No.
Would you favor Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. to defeat Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yes.
You would, really?
Not Spence. I'm not sure, because a lot of people don't like my thoughts on Spence, but he's not a nuanced fighter. He's a solid welterweight. He's solid. Like, yeah, he's good. He's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But he's just solid. He's not like nuanced is when you could throw weird looking punches and just do, like, Terence has that X factor that I would pick him to win a points decision against Chris on points, that he could do the right things to nick a decision. But Chris is not, and I don't like Chris, but Chris has a chin. George was beating the shit out of him, and he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. You couldn't stop this guy, and that was at super middleweight, right? George is proving that super. I know he was on his last legs, yada yada yada, towards the end of his career, but still, like, he's getting the shit beat out of him, and Chris wouldn't stop. I have never seen him hurt. I've never seen him tired. I don't even think I've ever seen Chris buzzed in a fight.
No, that's true.
So how's Conor going to deal with him?
Well, that's the thing, because Conor Benn, listen, he's improving. We can all see that. But is he improving enough where he could outbox Chris Eubank Jr.? If Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't showboat, if he takes that out of his game and just goes gung-ho and looking for the knockout, he'll probably get it. Because if you look back to his father, Chris Eubank Sr., he went gun shy after what happened with Michael Watson. He held back on that right hand a lot, and he became somewhat of a boring fighter. Junior seems like the complete opposite. It's almost like he wants to hurt. And if he sees Conor Benn hurt, and Conor Benn is a stubborn son of a bitch, he ain't gonna take a knee to save himself. He'll take that punishment.
Yep. I mean, he's under grave threat of being knocked out. That's just the and I don't like. That's why I like the fight is intriguing. That I'm gonna watch this fucking thing. It goes without saying.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fight for Conor because it's like it's so many other guys that I really feel he could probably beat the shit out of them. He's more ambitious than Thurman is right now, so you could give him decent odds against Thurman. You really could. He's more ambitious than he is right now. There's or Conor Benn versus Josecito Lopez. Conor Benn versus Adrian Broner, or the winner of Broner versus Figueroa. And because of the politics, we don't get to see him develop the right way. He got to go to fucking middleweight and fight Chris.
Yeah, that's true. And we all remember what happened with similar with Canelo Amir Khan. Triple G, Kell Brook. Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia. Okay, he never got badly hurt in that fight, but still, he was never the same after it.
Yep. So it's like it could ruin him. You know, if the contention is that Eddie is putting Conor in a situation that could ruin him moving forward, there's precedence to feel that way. But also, if Conor didn't want to do this, he wouldn't be doing it. You know, it's kind of like the Brook thing. Brook could have waited for Vargas to sort that situation out to do that unification match. Yeah. He chose to fight Triple G. You know, I can't. This is not the era where it's just a lumbering lummox that gets thrust into situations with no say-so. If his manager didn't want him in that shit, he wouldn't have been in that shit. If Conor, if he didn't want to be in this shit, he wouldn't be in this shit.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I don't blame them. At the end of the day, I mean, if we was in their situation, we'd probably do the same thing, right?
For that money. For that money, this is a big fight. And the American, I love how Americans really don't. It's a big fight, bro. This is a big fucking fight. I told these goofy bastards, y'all moaning about Khan versus Brook now, talking about his past the sell-by day. But I guarantee the day of the fight, everybody gonna watch that shit. ESPN ain't pick it up for no reason. ESPN only picks up the special cards that Sky is showing. They don't pick up all the cards. They didn't pick up Chris Eubank versus Liam Williams. They didn't pick that up, but they picked up Khan versus Brook. Wow, that was a big fucking fight. Past the shelf life and everything. That was a big fight. This is a bigger fight than that fight.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to be on pay-per-view here in the UK, which I don't know how I feel about that. Depends on the price point. But are you starting to see where Eddie Hearn said game changed, that it's actually not game changed? He's starting to replicate the pay-per-view model of Sky.
Yeah.
Canelo and Triple G3 here in the UK on pay-per-view.
I mean, I guess the way that he changed the game, the only thing that's changed that I see when it comes to DAZN is you're getting a lot of major fights on a lot of different fronts. You're getting major fights from the United Kingdom here in America. You're getting major fights here in America in the United Kingdom. That's all I really see, that it's become a hub for boxing, and that looks to have always been their mission statement, to be a one-stop shop for boxing as best as they could, given the politics. And they are that. You know, you're getting Joshua versus Usyk in Saudi Arabia. The next month, Canelo versus Golovkin 3. The next month, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. So it's a nice little situation.
No,
but it's all pay-per-views, though, and I think that the Brits aren't going to be happy about that. I think a lot of Brits were expecting that Canelo versus Golovkin would just be part of the regular subscription package. I don't think they were expecting to pay.
For sure. Although I'm hearing it's a reduced price. Is it like £10 or something?
Oh, yeah, it's the same deal here. The pay-per-view here, if you're already a DAZN subscriber, it's going to be $20 less. So it's going to be like $60 if you're already a subscriber. But it's essentially the same situation to where you shouldn't have to pay for that one. I don't think the Brits should have to pay for that one, given the ungodly hour that it's going to be on. You should just give them that one.
No, I agree. Well, how do you guys cope with it? Because you guys get pay-per-views, it seems like every month over there in America.
Oh, it's simple. Don't buy the bullshit.
Yeah, but people do it. I mean, you know, you're a big boxer fan. I'm a big boxer fan, even though, you know, I don't necessarily agree with Triple G and Canelo being pay-per-view. I'll probably still click it. It's what I do.
Well, remember, we have a unique racket. If I purchase a Canelo versus Golovkin pay-per-view, right, and then I do a live watch-along, not only do I make my money back, but I probably get a surplus of $100. So it's like it's really making me more money than it's costing me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Any news on stateside for Spence Crawford?
Oh, well, the news is encouraging. I mean, the latest from Dan Raphael is that they want to do it in November, which is in keeping with what we were hearing before. Initially, they wanted to do it in September. Then, because of Canelo versus Golovkin, they moved it over to October. Now it's November, which I kind of don't like because that means it will have been a year since Terrence had a fight. And I never like to see a fighter coming off a year of inactivity to do a big fight. But he is a consummate professional. He does keep himself up between the fights. So there's that. And Spence, I just don't think he's what he used to be after that accident, even with everything he's done. That's the most news. They're looking at November, and Stanionis has agreed to step aside because he was supposed to get the Spence fight. He was supposed to get that fight. But he's agreed to step aside again. This is the second time he's done that, and they're just decorating the undercard at this point.
So, have the PBC signed up Crawford, do you know?
That I don't know. I've heard so many weird rumors from different sources. Some from at least one credible boxing scribe. Another guy I know who claims to know Terrence personally, and he's related to him. But all the news seems to point in the same direction. They're fighting. That's what all the news. Every different thing I hear, that's the common denominator. They're fighting.
Now, if Crawford wins, I can see where he goes after that. He can go chase one of the Charlos, right?
Yeah.
If Spence wins, where does he go?
You know how it's gonna go, bro. They're gonna cycle off their guys. They'll have Jamal move up to super middle. They'll have Mel move up to middle. They'll have Spence move up to junior middle, and he'll pick up a vacant title. Maybe against Danny Garcia. Well, not Danny Garcia, but they'll find somebody for him to fight. They'll find someone. Maybe Murtazaliev, that Russian guy by way of the IBF. He's already stepped aside about 3-4 times. He'll probably step aside. If Spence goes up there, they give him a Spence fight for his troubles.
That's some free money, that shit.
Yeah, shit. He ain't complaining.
No, exactly. And what do you think about all the people who hate on Canelo and Joshua?
Oh, well, success breeds envy, bro. It breeds envy. It's not dissimilar from what content creators experience. It's just on a bigger scale. When somebody gets used, it's human nature because people are fickle. They see a guy always winning. They don't like that. They see a guy gets attention, or they see that a guy gets a lot of I guess praise. They don't like that. That's all that is. And it's gonna be the same for anybody. For God's sake, Katie Taylor gets it, and the woman doesn't even talk.
Sometimes that's good because she speaks one long sentence.
Oh yeah, I love her, but hearing her talk is very difficult.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, can you imagine boxing if Joshua and Canelo just retired today?
Shit! Imagine the state of boxing.
It'll be dead. We may as well close down our channels, to be honest.
Well, I'd still do Chocolatito video.
Oh yeah, I heard something about Estrada.
Oh yeah, well, the deal with Estrada is such a conflated and convoluted situation because the last I heard, he's going to vacate the WBA title to get out of fighting his mandatory James Franco. So the title should go to James Franco. James Franco, who up until recently was a Golden Boy Promotions fighter, but the last I heard, he left Golden Boy. And Estrada wants to fight a tune-up fight before summer's end to prepare him for the Chocolatito trilogy at the end of the year. That's the last I heard.
Right, okay. I mean, some interesting stuff coming up, though, before the year closes. I think there's some big talking points, big fights.
Edwards versus Martinez, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I like your
that. By the way, with Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny's a good dude, man. He's a Capricorn, and us Capricorns, we're good people.
Yeah, my mom's Capricorn.
Trying to tell you, Capricorns, man, good people.
That is it. So what fight are you looking forward to the most in before year close? If you're going to watch one fight, which one would it be?
In terms of intrigue and just being a fan, honestly, just because it's the only fight where I find myself, there's only really 3 fights. One, and they're fights where I can't help it. I'm a fan and I'm rooting for the guy, and that's Joshua versus Usyk. I'm rooting for AJ. I don't like his chances, being honest, but I'm rooting for the guy. I want him to pull it off. Shields versus Marshall. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that because if Savannah pulls this shit off, wow, bro. Wow.
Does that make a pound for pound top dog or not?
Not top dog because you can't. being number one and getting there, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. So she'll definitely crack the list. But being number one off of that one lone victory, nah. Katie Taylor has that, man. Her body of work is complete. It's what you expect to see from a fighter that is in that conversation. Look, she fought Jonas. She fucking fought damn near everybody worth fighting, dog. The only one she ain't fight is Clarissa Shields, and that's because she's too goddamn little.
That is very true. Oh, by the way, I love your words about Chantel Cameron. I agree with you. She's brilliant. I love Chantel Cameron.
I've loved Chantel since she was with Cyclone, man. She got it all, dog. And if I had to pick anyone that I think stands, and you know I love Katie. Everybody know I love Katie. But if I had to guess who would beat Katie Taylor right now, Chantel Cameron.
Ooh.
She's got it, man. She's got it. She's just mean-spirited, but she could box her fucking ass off. She just knows how to make it work.
I heard that they don't actually like each other.
No, they don't. I heard a inside rumor. Just something along the lines of Katie would never fight her. And I was never told the rest. Why would Katie never fight her? Why? I know she beat her in the amateurs a couple of times, but I mean, that's normal.
That's true. And you like that fight with Sandy Ryan, don't you? But not yet, but down the line.
Oh yeah, but Sandy's not. I mean, I do like Ryan versus Cameron, right? But that is for me. The right time to do that fight is not even next year because Sandy just found out the hard way that fam, it's levels to this. If that was Chantel with Farias in that first, she wouldn't have lost that fucking fight. She wouldn't have needed 2 fights to beat Farias. But you did because you was drinking your own Kool-Aid. You thought you was just gonna go in there and bully her. And fam, this lady never been knocked out. She campaigned anywhere from 130 to 147. Never been knocked out. She not no slouch. I respect it.
No, I agree. And what's your thoughts on the September card for Marshall Shields, all women?
Good card, but I've always been... See, this is my thing. I like the card because I know the fighters, right? I know who these fighters are. I know Arting Stahl is quality. I saw her debut. The girl is nice. She's nice. Carolyn Dubois, her debut was nice. That's all the shit you want to see from a young, unbeaten up-and-comer. But my thing is this. Women's boxing needs to be integrated with men's boxing so you catch the spillover that a guy might see something that he actually found entertaining and decide I like this fighter. I don't know all these other people, but I like this fighter. And when you mingle the cards, that's what happens. It has that effect. But if you make an all-women card, it might affect your audience. I hope the card does well, but that's reality right now that if you do an all-girl card, some folk might look at that and be like, well, I don't really know none of them like that. I don't know none of these fighters like that, so I don't know if I want to watch that.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense because ultimately what you want is as many eyes and ears on women's boxing as you can, and that involves putting men on the card.
If you remember when Katie Taylor debuted, what Matchroom did that was very intelligent was they integrated her into Anthony Joshua cards. And those were the biggest cards in the UK at the time. She was fighting on his cards. She fought German girl Nina Menke. She had a couple of fights. And that had that spillover effect away. Look, this girl, whatever's whatever, her fights are entertaining. She go in there, beat the shit out the girl, get up out of Dodge. And it worked because that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't want it to be in the greatest scheme of things. The goal has to be, it's just boxing. It's just fighting. Because, for example, if me and you go to the club, right, sporting, and it's 2 girls, they fighting outside, you think I'm not going to watch that shit? You bet your motherfucking ass I'm going to watch that shit. Wait for a titty to pop up. What I'm going to do, all right? I don't care if it's girls fighting. And that's what you need, that understanding that this is a different sport than any other sport. This is not women playing a sport. This is a fight, and a fight is a fight. Good fight is always a good fight. 2 guys, 2 girls, 2 squirrels, 2 fucking cats. Good fight's a good fight, and you'll watch it. And you need to get the sport to that point to where it's not women's boxing. It's just boxing. It's just boxing.
Didn't Matchroom do it? It's gone off the top of my head. When I remember Katie Taylor headlined the York Hall. It's the only time that she's headlined before the Serrano.
I remember that.
Wasn't that card all women or majority women?
I think it was majority women. That was the McCaskill fight, I believe it was at York Hall. And that was a long time ago. I think 2017 around there. Just it was a long time ago. But I don't remember it being an all-girl card. That I don't. It might have been a couple of girls on there, but I don't remember it being an all-girl card.
Yeah, I think I remember. Was it Terry Harper was on the card or something? I don't know.
Terry Harper, yeah, she bought the fight Hannah Rankin. They crazy, man. I love Steffi Bullo, but they crazy, man. They just nuts. I love
money,
them.
though. I heard that Eddie Hearn's paid out a lot of money to Rankin for this one.
Well, he had to. I mean, with you look at what Scott's doing to him with Lawrence Okolie. They all in his ear, whispering sweet nothings in his ear. You know, he got to do something. All right, y'all gonna try to poach Lawrence from me. I'm gonna try to poach Hannah from y'all.
Yeah. Well, do you think that Eddie Hearn is making some decisions like this Eubank Benn fight? Because now, for the first time, let's be honest, this is probably the first time, the first year, he's probably felt pressure with what Sky Sports and Boxing are doing, for example.
I do think he feels pressure because he underestimated Adam Smith and Sky. And I think that he probably started to feel that the success they had was solely in part to Matchroom's efforts when, no, Matchroom had their role to play, but you were boxing on your shows. That's a major platform, Sky. You know, my understanding is Sky is to the UK what Fox is to the US. And it's a big network. It's a very big network. And there's benefits to that, you know, and I firmly believe Sky has the greatest potential to become Eddie Hearn's biggest rival in the UK. They're just developing their fighters now. After a while, it's going to get interesting with Richard Riakporhe, and if they can get him that fight with Jay Opataya once Jay, you know, recovers because his jaw was broken. That kid, he has money maker energy. That Richard Riakporhe kid, he has that energy.
I like him. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Real cool guy. In fact, he was the very first professional boxer to ever pull me up on something like a live on a chat, which is really cool. But what do you think of Riakporhe versus Okolie then? Do you like that fight?
I mean, Lawrence doesn't have an aesthetically pleasing style, but you have to respect that regardless of whether it's entertaining or not, it will be difficult for the man opposite the ring because he has very long arms and he knows when to tie up. He knows how to be a very frustrating guy. So how does Richard get off those power shots? Could Richard knock him out if he lands? Yes, of course, but you have to land. And he's going to make that very hard because he's not a guy that needs to be close to you to touch you with shots. And if he does get close to you, you know what he's going to do. He's going to do the tentacle thing. He's going to tie you up and you're not going to wrestle. So it's a tough fight.
Yeah. I mean, do you see if Okolie goes to boxer, which you would presume that he will now after his next fight, do you think that he'll continue at cruiser or move up to heavy?
I mean, when you have Lawrence is in a unique position to where he can have things on his terms. You know, if you tried to get Arsene Goulamarian in the ring, for example, well, that's on Lawrence's terms, not Arsene. Nobody knows the man. If you tried to get Lunga Makabu in the ring, same deal. That I'm the A side to y'all. You know, I'm the A side to y'all. I control shit. Whereas if I go up to heavyweight, yeah, you got a little bit of name value, but I don't run shit up here. I don't run shit. You're just another guy at heavyweight. So I don't know.
That is very, very true. Have you given any thought to Troy Williamson versus Josh Kelly? So
I like Troy for that fight. I like Troy for that fight. Josh Kelly, he look. I tried to give him a chance because I know that a lot of people were hard on him, but I just where's he out at now? 154.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Like, come on, man. Like Troy can punch. You know, he can punch. Josh isn't much of a puncher, doesn't have the biggest dimensions for the weight. I still think that they moved him a little bit too fast. He didn't need the Avanesian fight before. He didn't need that right then and there. He didn't need that. And I don't like that fight for him. I like it for me, but I don't like it for him.
I know what you mean. I mean, that headline, I mean, in my neck of the woods in the northeast of England, that's a huge fight, though.
Oh,
really big fight.
The money, bro. Money talks. You know how it is. Like, and that's why he'll probably do it. But if he wants to do what's right, you know, look, you got beat up real bad by David Avanesian. You should probably spend another year, just getting experience and working it out to where you have a good base style. Because to me, still fights like an amateur. Still got that Amy kind of energy. Like, you got to develop. Troy Williamson don't have that problem.
That's true. That's true. And what's your thoughts on Don King not paying Daniel Dubois?
Is anybody surprised?
Say it, Jill. Say it.
Oh, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I put that. I mean, not even. I'm gonna say this. I can't put it on Frank. I would like to, just because Frank. It's kind of like it's funny that this would happen to your fighter as you're gloating about winning the purse bid for Fury versus White. Look at what ended up happening to your fighter, right?
Yeah.
But realistically, nobody could have seen that. There's not a lot they could have did about it because you know how purse bid works. You got to make a deposit, and then that allows you to be able to bid. Don King made the deposit to be able to bid on the fight. So by all accounts, he looked like he was good for the money. And here we are. He's going to get sued and he's going to have to pay, period. He's going to have to pay.
Yeah, he'll drag that shit out to the grave, man.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I mean,
Poor Daniel, right?
I mean, he's 91 in 2 weeks' time on the same day as Joshua Usyk. 91 years old. Man, this guy's got one foot in the grave and the other foot on wet mud. It's going. So what's that about,
It's shocking, bro. And I'm just wondering, why is Don King still in boxing is my thing, because it's like you saw the decorum for Lunga Makabu's fight, his rematch with Machunu, the Daniel Dubois fight. That looked like a high school auditorium.
It was, yeah. Was it 200 people?
And it's like, yo, why are you doing? And I'm like, why didn't you just let, instead of bearing the brunt of what this show cost to put on and all the headaches that it could cause, why didn't you just let Frank do the fucking show?
Yeah.
Common sense. But
well, maybe he's worried about his undercard. Although Don King, I mean, all his fighters are lost now. You got Trevor Bryan lost. You got that DeCary Scott, very unfortunate. I had big hopes for him.
He's still got Makabu. Still got that belt.
Yeah, but he ain't no draw, is he? Let's be honest.
Nah, you think people in America are clawing at their faces over Lunga Makabu fights?
No. I mean, I only really know about him because he had that fight with Bellew. Other than that, I don't know too much about him.
I mean, he's a
cousin, right?
Limited puncher. He's Bacoli's brother. He's Mark Bacoli's brother, and a limited puncher. But he can punch. That as far as cruiserweights that pack a big punch, he's one of them. He's a southpaw, but a limited variety of punches. Not a great fighter. Champion of circumstance. I'd pick Lawrence to knock him out. Yeah, he'd knock him out.
I mean, if you're Ben Shalom, would you try and get Riakporhe in there with him?
Yeah, because I think Riakporhe has great dimensions for a cruiserweight. He has explosive power. He doesn't have to hit you but once. He's got power in both. It looks like he's got power in both hands. And he bodied that guy with a body shot, short body shot. Got folded up like a beach chair. So I'd like Riakporhe's chances against Makabu.
Yeah.
The problem is, will Don King actually let you do a fight? Because this is Don King's only titleist, so he's not going to part with him easy.
It's going to come at a price.
Yeah. And Sky's got deep pockets. He knows that.
They do, but does anybody want to work with him after what's going on with Dubois? Well,
it depends on the circumstances of the show. We're only there with Dubois because Don King was charged with doing the show. If it's Sky and Bots are doing the show, you don't have any of those problems. You don't got to worry about Don stiffing anybody because it's not up to him to pay everybody or anybody.
That's true. That is very true. I mean, do you think that Don King will live to see it this time next year, though?
I mean, I don't even want to think about that. Like shit, man. Like he's resilient.
Yeah. I've been seeing quite a bit of social media shit about Lomachenko ducking Devin Haney.
Hey, that's stupid, bro. Like I was on Instagram earlier, and it's like, fam, I tell the fucking bozo, Devin is not at liberty to fight Lomachenko. Rematch clause, bro. George activated it a matter of weeks after the fight. Devin can't fight Lomachenko unless he wants to get sued.
But people can't see that. I don't know why people can't see it.
They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it, and that's why I don't argue with them, because this is not the kind of thing that needs to be debated. You can debate Chavez versus Duran in a time machine. This is not subject to debate. It's a straightforward situation. George has a rematch clause. There's only two ways Devin gets out of this. Either George just drops it or you convince him to step aside. Other than that, he's obligated to fight him again. There's no ducking. There was never ducking. And what motivates a lot of those conversations and a lot of that crap is stuff that I don't like to deal with. It's the tribalism and the bullshit. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Loma's a good fighter. Devin's a good fighter. Nobody's ducking anybody. I don't think Devin's scared of Loma. I don't think Loma's scared of Devin. Never did.
Do you like a fight between Loma and Stevenson?
Love it, because I think Stevenson can beat him.
That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it?
Well, imagine that, the difference between Devin and Steven and Shakur fighting Loma is that I believe Devin is in the process of outgrowing lightweight, whereas Shakur, when he moves up there, he'll be stronger for it because he won't have to cut the extra 5 to make 130. He's a southpaw, so Vasyl Lomachenko being a southpaw, that won't bother him. And he just doesn't offer you much to counter. He doesn't offer you much. And I think he's actually a little better and a little faster than Devin. So I like Shakur in that fight if and when it happens.
Now, I got a brief message from Dillian. I'm not going to put out exactly what it was, but let's put it away. Do you like the thought of Daniel Dubois defending that belt against Dillian White?
Oh, yeah, I like that fight, man. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
Good fight. And Dillian, better variety of punches, more experience than Daniel, but does Daniel pack a big enough punch to knock out Dillian? Yes. So it's a genuinely intriguing fight where, you want to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. And what do you think of this whole A-side, B-side talk with Frank Warren when it comes to Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker?
Well, Joseph Parker's not the A-side to anybody in the United Kingdom, and he needs to stop. He's in the UK because the bag is in the UK for heavyweight action, and everybody knows that. The A-side is Joe, as funny as that might sound, because you do a Joseph Parker versus fucking Ali Demirezin fight at your call. Who's coming? Who's going to that shit?
That is true. But do you see any heavyweights out there other than the usual suspects that could make a big splash, like a Makhmudov or anyone like
that? Quite a few. There's Jalov Rice, as I like to call him, the Uzbek. Yeah. He's real good. Arslanbek Makhmudov, I like that guy. What's that Cassius Chaney guy? Interesting heavyweight. I don't see a champion, but I see somebody interesting. Jared Anderson, obviously, kid I'm very high on. Very athletic for a heavyweight. This era's heavyweights. The American kid.
Like America's hope right now for the future.
Not just him. The Torres kid, because he's a pocket-sized heavyweight in an era of lumbering lummoxes, you want to keep an eye on him, because if he can get it together, he can be very formidable. He'll have speed and athleticism and cardio over most other heavyweights because he's not a lumbering lummox. In this era, he's a pocket-sized heavyweight. That could work for him if he plays his cards right. That could work for him.
Okay, I don't know who that guy is.
Olympian, signed by Top Rank, the last cycle of Olympians. Keyshawn Davis, his brother, yada yada yada. He signed a lot of the kids that were fresh out of the Olympics. And this Torres kid, he looks like one of the Jonas brothers if they took steroids. That's literally what he looks like. And yeah, he's fun little fighter. Very interesting fighter that you want to keep an eye on. No guarantees, but interesting little fighter.
Do you see any big future for Dakari Scott?
Hard to say. Who's he with?
Don King?
No. No.
Yeah. And the fact that he just lost to that guy, I can't pronounce his name.
He's not nobody with Don.
Jonathan Guidry.
Wait, the Jonathan Dwidry, the shrimper?
Uh-huh.
Holy fuck, bro.
He got knocked out by him, didn't he, on the Dubois Bryan undercard?
And Bryan knocked him out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yo, it's a clown car, man. This is just like, nah, fam. Like, he ain't got no future, man. He ain't got no future.
Although, speaking of undercards, do you like the Usyk Joshua undercard?
Better than the Canelo versus Golovkin undercard. I love it. My man Callum Smith about to knock out that Frenchman. He gonna knock his ass out.
Yeah. Although there is one fight on the Canelo Triple G card that I like, which is Kieran Conway
No, the Triple G versus Canelo card is not bad, but I see more fights that I'm like, I want to see that Smith fight, and I want to see Hergovic and Zhang. I've been waiting for that. Because that's the IBF eliminator. I want to see that. That's a good little fight too.
Yeah. Well, outside of those two, I don't really see anything else. I'm not interested in Badu Jack. I know he was good back in the day and everything, but and we know why he's on the card. We don't need to say why.
Well, let's put it this way. Badu Jack is still a serviceable, albeit old fighter that could see himself with a young up-and-comer because he has familiarity. He has name value because, it's Badu Jack. The same as Kovalev. They're both up there at cruiserweight. So if you told me Lawrence Okolie versus Jack, ooh, I like that. I like that shit. Or Richard Riakporhe versus Jack. I like that shit. J.O. Pataya versus Jack. Ooh, I'd go for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he going to continue at light heavy then, is he?
No, he's a cruiserweight now, bro. Both of them are. Jack's last 3 to 4 fights were cruiserweight fights.
Okay. I think I missed those.
Yeah. Because they've been happening under the radar. He's now based out of Dubai, and he's just doing his own Badu Jack thing over there. But he's got like 3 fights as a cruiserweight.
Is he still signed with Probellum?
No, he said, I'm glad you asked. Someone asked him that on social media, and he said, no, that was only a 1-fight engagement. He is not a Probellum fighter.
1 fight? I'm sure he put out a multi-fight deal fighting in Dubai, didn't he?
And I'm sure that the sanctions from the United States might have caused him to change his answer.
You're not dumb. Blowing up one day?
Fam, he's like literally in pictures with Daniel, bro. He's in pictures with Daniel, like drinking, eating lunch or brunch or whatever the fuck they were doing.
Oh shit, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, man, Daniel, he get around, bro, and it's pictures of Jack and Daniel and Jack's manager and all of that shit. So it probably was a multi-fight deal up until the sanctions.
I can see this court case going global.
Oh yeah, but I mean, look at where we are, bro. Everything's quieted down. They have yet to make an official association between Daniel Kinahan and Probellum, and underneath it all, we know that but there's no proof. It's very hard to prove. And Daniel Kinahan, for all these sanctions they levied against him in America, well, Daniel doesn't do the bulk of his business in America. So what the fuck does that mean? Oh, that Tyson Fury can't come here? Yeah, that really crippled his business.
Yeah. Well, I'll still say that Bob Arum's a squealer and all that. He squealed like a canary.
I mean, it really looks that way, but I think Bob, it's like it could be that he's covering all the bases to protect himself against any situations, or it could be that he's just putting up a front, and underneath it all, he is still dealing with Daniel because he knew he fought Donaire. Donaire is a Probellum fighter. Jack Catterall was a Probellum fighter up until recently. Now he just signed the Sky, and who's Sky's U.S. promotional partner? Fucking Bob. So it's just like you could just see how maybe he's covering the bases, or maybe he's just making it look good. Like, nah, I don't deal with no Daniel Kinahan.
I know I can see some big changes. I think a lot of these promoters are panicking right now of an impending investigation.
I mean, things have gotten pretty quiet, things for what it's worth. Like, the air is not the same now as it was a few months ago. And I was having a lot of fun with that story. Sound bites, gunshots, sirens. I was having a lot of fun with that whole ordeal. But the truth is, unless the UAE is about to extradite him to Ireland, it's much ado of nothing.
Yeah.
And even in Ireland, was he ever charged for anything? No. Oh, well, then I don't know what the fuck. Then on what precedence do you have to extradite him then?
I don't know. People just say that they seem to know that he's guilty. I don't know what that means.
I don't know how the laws work in Ireland, but you need to have something on this guy. And last I checked, he was in your lap, knee deep in the Irish Emerald Isle, and y'all couldn't pin the rap on this guy. So you're gonna pin it on him when he's in the fucking UAE? Come on.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, do you see Probellum continuing though?
Yes, because they're still here, and I see that. What I kind of see they're doing is they're keeping a low profile until they can do things that might legitimize them as an outfit They need to develop a paper trail because I firmly believe that all Pro Bellum is a money laundering outfit. And they just need to make it look good to where they can explain themselves that, look, this is our revenue stream. We have several fighters that participate in several cards. We're a legitimate outfit. We're a legitimate business. Right now, it's too hot to touch them. But if they're still around in a year or 2 years, yeah, that helps legitimize them. Right now, they're like the IBO of promotion.
Did you see that MTK Global closing doors as a sign of guilt?
No, that's basically it's preemptive. Like before you even investigate us, we're gonna close our doors, so you don't have anything to investigate.
Yeah. Well,
Smart.
still gonna be paper trails, aren't there?
It was smart on their part, and it looks like it's like a trade-off. You close your doors, people are gonna interpret that as an omission of guilt. But is it actually an omission of guilt? No. What does that prove? We closed. Big deal.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Arrest us for closing?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. So, what do you think of like the PBC fighters, like a Tank Davis, for example? Is he going to continue with Floyd Mayweather, or is his contract now definitely up, or what's happening
Nah,
there?
he's going to continue with Floyd, bro. Like all that stuff was much ado about nothing. He's not going anywhere. But you think he wants to go to Top Rank to have to earn his money? Or he wants to go? No, he wants to stay put and let everybody else do the thinking for him. Winnable fights, decent purses, because he does get decent purses. You know, he doesn't get paid peanuts per se, but the idea that he can become that crossover star, no, there's always going to be a cap on that because you're not putting on the fights that people want to see. You have to put on the fights that people want to see if you want to cross over.
Did you not see them working out a deal with Ryan Garcia?
No, that's dead for that.
No.
Maybe a year, because the main issue is DAZN will not part with him, right? So the only way to do the fight is a joint pay-per-view. In order for you to do a joint pay-per-view, you're going to need a very big pot because both DAZN and Showtime and Mayweather Promotions and Golden Boy, they all want to turn over a profit. So you need a pay-per-view that can do very well, 1.5 to 2 million. I don't think it's there right now, but it could be in about a year, and then maybe they do it.
Do you agree with Eddie Hearn where he insinuated the likes of Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman make more money off Tank Davis than Tank Davis makes?
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Tank doesn't have, some fighters are business-minded, some, like Mikey Garcia and Daniel Jacobs, that they know their business. Dillian White is actually smarter than he's given credit for. He doesn't just get fight purses like some lummox. That man is about his BI. And Tank ain't one of them guys. He not, like, you can see that. He ain't one of them guys. He's like a guy that probably believed the sales pitch because he's been with them since he was young, and he's just now realizing they're like, wow, this is all bullshit. But there's not a lot I could do about it.
That is true. That is true. I mean, do you give any chance to George Kambosos Jr.?
No, absolutely not.
No. And who do you think wins between Loma and Haney?
Well, just off of, if history is any indicator of things to come, if Lomachenko can look the way he looked with Comey and look the way he looked with Nakatani the next time we see him, then I do favor him to beat Devin, because it's just a bad style clash for a pure boxer, let alone one that I suspect is outgrowing the division. I think his punch resistance is waning because he's outgrown the division. I believe that he lacks power because he's outgrown the division, and he's straining himself to make that weight. And that's not, you don't want to fight Loma if that's where you at, but that's where I think he's at.
Yeah. And who do you see as the future of boxing, like the face of boxing, once Canelo and that goes?
A couple of guys. I think Shakur has potential, but I also think Keyshawn has potential. As far as the heavyweight scene, it's hard to know because some of the most promising heavyweights aren't Americans, like Jalilov. So could Jalilov is fun to watch. Don't get it twisted. But you know that Americans are very xenophobic. Would they gravitate towards an Uzbek, with one eyebrow? I don't know. Hard.
That is true. That's true because American boxing fans, not all, but it seemed that they kind of like dropped off when the Klitschko brothers were around.
And look at how quiet they've become now that Wilder's gone on holiday to drink exotic teas.
Yeah. Did he actually see the shaman, did he?
Say it again.
Did that Wilder actually visit the shaman? Do we know?
I think he did. I mean, he's coming back, right? Shit, come back. He must have drank that tea and he saw the answers. But it's like the heavyweight division is in a great place because there are actually good fighters coming through, but because they're not Americans, you won't see excitement towards their careers and their development. It's still like, man, it's still Joyce versus Parker is a great little fight to me, but the Americans probably ain't excited about it.
Are they excited for Ruiz Ortiz?
No.
They're not.
No.
I thought they would be.
No, they're not, man. They're not. Trust me. I said it before and I'll say it again. Luis Ortiz doesn't have fans. Wilder has fans. And those are the pretend Luis Ortiz fans. They're not fans of Ortiz's boxing because where were they when he fought Charles Martin? Where were they? You know, and where were they at the box office when Wilder fought him for a second time? Abysmal numbers. They were just talking him up because that was one of the only good fighters that Wilder fought. That's all they were doing.
Would Wilder versus Helenius be on pay-per-view, do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Because, and this is funny, Wilder's return will make a dent. It will do good numbers just because it's not who he's fighting, it's that he's fighting. People are going to get nostalgic. They're going to hear that stupid bomb squad shit. Their dicks are going to get hard. Their nipples are going to get hard. It's going to be crazy.
Well, do you not see like a lot of similarities between some of the Tyson Fury fans with the Wilder fans?
Oh, yeah. But that's just fanatics in general. Fanatics in general. You know, that's just how fanatical mind works. That Wilder can do no wrong. He's this era's George Foreman or whatever the fuck they think he is. And that's okay. You know, that's just boxing. You got some part of me has to not criticize fans, even over enthusiastic ones, for being fans, because that's what the sport thrives on.
That's true. But I mean, I can't help but get sucked into some of it. And I think that people, they really don't realize that the people like you, me, and others, the reason why we do YouTube videos is because the comment section can't hold us. We're natural trolls like they are.
Yeah, that's actually true. I was a rabid troll during the Maypac era. Rabid.
Really?
It's the truth. I can't deny it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I went around on YouTube during that era, but I heard it got pretty heated.
Oh yeah, it was like it would get so bad that if you get a Pacquiao fan mad enough, he will literally post a picture of a piece of shit in the toilet. I don't know what they were trying to say with that, but that was a common theme back then. They'd literally post a floating turd in a toilet.
Oh my God.
It was wild, bro. Strange times.
So the Pacquiao fans, so are you saying that they were worse than the Wilder fans were?
Oh, this is nothing compared to nothing we've experienced in this era compares to the Maypac trolling. Just nothing. That was just wild, bro.
Damn.
Good times though. Good times.
That is true. That is true. All right, my man. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh no, that's it, man. I'm just dropping by to say hello.
Well, hello. Thank you very much for joining me.
All right, sport, and I'll catch you.
All right. Take care, my man. All right, everyone. That was Julius from Ring IQ. Go over there, check out his channel. Love his content. He posts every single day. All boxing news from around the globe. Go check him out. Yeah, so before I close off, I'm going to go back on to the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. And I know I'm overreacting. I know I am. But I do worry for Conor Benn. I do worry for him. I don't want to see him hospitalized. I don't want to see him carried out on a stretcher or anything like that. And hopefully it don't happen. Hopefully I'm just overreacting. My imagination is just going a little bit too far. But I don't know. I mean, there's too much history when you look at Chris Eubank Sr. and Michael Watson, Nigel Benn, Jeremy McLennan, Chris Eubank Jr., Nick Blackwell, those kind of situations. And hopefully we don't see that on this one. But if it does happen, who's taking the blame? You know? And I know some people saying Conor Benn's taking the blame, and that's of course, I mean, that goes without saying. But a fighter will need saving from his or herself. They will fight anybody. they see money signs, they think that they're bigger and better than what they really are, and things happen. But yeah. Anyway, I have been reading your comments coming through. I do apologize I haven't responded to all of them. I've seen some people deliberately trying to troll me. Listen, I've been on YouTube long enough that I don't bite too much. I don't bite, okay? I have a very, very simple way of right-click, block. Very simple. I don't like blocking people. It's not often I do it, but what can you do? Lady Chan, I've seen you, my girl. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Are you going to go to the Chris Eubank and Conor Benn Media Day? Are you going to go to any of that? As it's in your neck of the woods, O2 Arena. Get yourself a card to go to the fight night, the media pass. And anybody else, you know, if you're in and around London, if you're in and around Manchester, obviously for the Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker fight, all that kind of stuff. Hey, listen, you know, just boost up your own YouTube channel, create one, go to the press conference, go to the weigh-in. Hell, you can even get like a free front row ticket. Why don't you try it? Trolls are viewers too. That is true. Yeah, definitely apply. But I mean, I have to be quite selective with what I apply for now. You know, I do. You know, I've had so many phone calls lately of different people, promoters, managers, and whatever else, whittling about certain things I've been saying and doing. So, I mean, I don't want to burn too many bridges, but at the same time, you know, I have to say what I got to say. It's what we do, right? It's what we do. But anyway, I mean, you know what? To go back on the point, I don't want to see Conor Benn get humiliated. I think that's the thing I want to say. I don't want to see him get humiliated. If he gets beaten, you know what? He's supposed to lose to Chris Eubank Jr. He's supposed to. But how much of this is down to pressure that Eddie Hearn is feeling with what Frank Warren's been putting on? Obviously, he got the Wembley fight with Fury and White. He's got the Anthony Yard and Artur Beterbiev fight. He's got the Parker, Joe Joyce fight and things like that. Boxer, Sky Sports. They've got Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields and whatever else. And, of course, previously they had Amir Khan and Kell Brook. And is Eddie Hearn feeling the pressure now that he's reaching to the point where he has to put on Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.? Is this his reaction to that fight or flight situation? Simon Punter. Nobody's trying to delivery troll, asking questions you don't like to answer. Well, I don't remember any questions. Sorry, my man. Chisora beats Dubois. You think so? That's good. I don't want to see this fight. Ben should be concentrating on fighting the young up-and-coming welterweights in America. I would love to see Conor Benn take on Virgil Ortiz Jr. I'd love to see him take on Boots Ennis. I'd love to see him take on Keith Thurman. You know, Danny Garcia. I want to see him take on these kind of guys. So I can certainly agree with that. I know some people want to say David Avanesian. I mean, are you really interested in watching Conor Benn, David Avanesian? Let's be honest. We're not, are we? But with Chris Eubank Jr., I'd prefer it if he tried to gun down the likes of Jamal Charlo, trying to get a WBC strap, and Demetrius Andrade. And, you know, I want to see them go after the world titles, make them kind of fights, and toward the end of their career, hey, listen, have you fight, you know? But right now, if Chris Eubank Jr. loses, career over. If Conor Benn loses, depending on how he loses, if he gets carried out on a stretcher, it's career over. This superstar that Eddie Hearn's trying to make Conor Benn suddenly ain't there no more, when he could have made him a superstar by going the route that he was going down. It could be potential career suicide for the loser of this fight. It could be. Frank Stable is bulging while Hearns are all leaving him. Yeah, a lot of fighters are leaving Matchroom. They are. But I mean, that's, you know, this goes back to what I was saying before, where Eddie Hearn, he believed a lot of fighters want to sign with him because they want to be with him, Eddie Hearn, the best promoter in the world. But the reality is, a lot of fighters wanted Sky Sports. They wanted the platform. Now, when you put up Sky Sports and Eddie Hearn together, it was a match made in heaven. But now they're not together. fighters are choosing. Do I want to go with Eddie Hearn? Do I want to go with Sky? I want to go with Sky. That seems to be the MO for a lot of fighters. It does. I don't see the point of this fight in a sport, and Ben should be fighting some 2 top 10, 15 guys. Yeah, exactly. That's where it should be at this moment. Chris Eubank Jr.'s career has been 2 stop-start. It's like he hasn't got out of second gear yet. And we're waiting to see him fulfill his promise, if you like. And I don't think a fight with him and Conor Benn is going to do it. I don't. Do I think Conor Benn is that out of his depth? No, of course not. Of course not. They're both at a catch weight, so they're both going to be weighing in the same. They are. So from that perspective, it's kind of like 50-50. Obviously, Conor Benn's going to have a bit more energy about him because he's adding a little bit of weight, so he doesn't have to drain it. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to have to drain weight, so he's going to be a little bit depleted. So it does bring it down a bit, but it's going to bring it down enough, though. That's my only real question. Chris Eubank Jr.'s uppercut is ruthless. Yeah, it is. Absolutely correct. I've always wanted to see this fight, but not for a couple of years when Conor was thinking of nationally moving up. Exactly, Toby. Exactly that. See, I 100% agree with what you're saying. Got to head off to the play part now with my girls. Lovely show from Australia. Big up, down under, Australia. Although I'm looking forward to the DAZN Australia cards. I think that Australian boxing is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the WBA putting Lucas Brown at number 10 in the WBA rankings, but overall, I love Australian boxing. I absolutely love it. Did Eddie make a mistake leaving Sky? I don't know. I mean, it's a bit early to say, but I think Sky Sports are hell-bent on making it look like Eddie Hearn's made a mistake. They're going to keep on pumping money to the point where Sky Sports Boxer are literally rivaling Matchroom. And that's where you're going to see Eddie Hearn, if he's a winner or if he's not. How's he going to do? Is he going to fight or flight? Conor going to win Bojan power. I've never seen Chris Eubank Jr. hurt. Spike Williams tagged him a bit, but I don't know. I've never seen Chris Eubank Jr. in serious trouble. I mean, okay, he can be in serious trouble when he can't land the punches, like he couldn't when he fought Billy Joe Saunders for the first half of their fight, or when he fought George Groves. And again, he was busted up in that fight and everything, but he just still kept going. And if they can't knock him out, I don't know how Conor Benn can. I still have, I don't know why, that fight, the first fight with Conor Benn and Cedric Paynard is still implanted in my brain. And I wish it wasn't. Maybe that's what's giving me the dampener about this fight. I don't know. Is added weight going to affect Ben due to extra weight, making him sluggish? It might do. It might. Because he's going to go from 147 to 156. That's 9 pounds difference. Maybe. Answer: how can you bring Duran into a time machine fight if you're a boxing fan? Mike Tyson would hammer you for it. Who's that question to, Simon? I haven't said anything about Duran. I don't do fights like that. I don't really like these fantasy matchups. I've never been one for that. I don't know. Will be a George Sepper rematch in a few years? You never know. MC Boswell, I think if this fight goes a distance, don't be surprised if a draw. Don't be surprised. They'll try and milk this for as much as they possibly can. People should appreciate fights like this. You don't get them a lot now. I know what you're saying, Jaden. I know what you're saying, but aren't we getting too many gimmick fights now? Is this where boxing's headed? The gimmick fights are the ones that get the headlines now. And this is a gimmick fight. Let's have it right. It is a gimmick fight. But saying that, I mean, that's on paper. Maybe the fight will be an absolute war. Maybe it'll be a classic. And we're all begging for a rematch, you know? You never know. But I don't like this whole KSI and Logan Paul thing and whatever else. I mean, I appreciate what Jake Paul's trying to do now. I mean, he's had 2 boxers where he's supposed to have fought 2 professional boxers and neither one of them's come off. But I understand what Jake Paul's doing. I understand it. KSI, I don't. I don't see a big future for KSI in boxing. I don't. Jake Paul, I can kind of see it a little bit. What's your opinion of Isaac Lowe training Fury? Do you reckon Sugar doesn't want to associate with Fury because of Kinahan? I don't know. I did actually do a video on it. I recorded it about Isaac Lowe becoming his trainer, but then I decided to not upload it because I was being not negative. I was actually being a little bit positive about it because I do feel that Fury doesn't need a trainer. You know, he's got the experience of being there in the amateurs with like his dad, obviously in that around him, Rob McCracken with Team GB, Rob McCracken when he first turned pro for the first couple of fights. Then, of course, he had his uncle Huey. Then he had his uncle Peter. Of course, his dad has been around when he wasn't in jail. Then, of course, Ben Davison and then Sugar Hill. He doesn't actually need a trainer. He just needs somebody to make sure he's getting up in the morning, going to the gym. Fury can break down fights himself now. Isaac Lowe, listen, he's a garbage fighter himself. And in truth, he's Tyson Fury's baggage handler. You know, Tyson Fury needs his ass wiping. Isaac Lowe is going to be there to do it for him. But ultimately, listen, this is just a way of Tyson Fury showing appreciation to Isaac Lowe. He don't need Isaac Lowe. Isaac Lowe needs Fury. People only know about Isaac Lowe because of Fury. That's the truth of it. That's a good point, Toby. That is a good point. Dave's had enough of Jake Paul. Yeah. I think Zhang has a bigger chance at winning than most think. I'll give him 35%. I wouldn't be shocked. Listen, he's a big Chinese guy. Tall, was he 6'7", 6'8", something like that. But he's southpaw. Big puncher. Has the Olympic background, 2 Olympics. Of course, he won the, was it silver medal? Back in 2008, I think it was. He's a good boxer, but he's just getting on a bit now. He looks like he's got that Great Khali kind of gigantism going on, where his bones are starting to seize up, you know. Filip Perkovic is just a beast. He is, but at the same time, heavyweight boxing. That's the beauty about heavyweight boxing. We can all heavily favour Filip Perkovic to defeat Zhilei Zhang. Truth is, heavyweight boxing, you never know. You never know. Fury's a lion bell end. Yep. You think Billy Joe Saunders will fight Eubank again? If Eubank defeats Conor Benn, yes, I can see Billy Joe Saunders coming back for that fight. Not at middleweight, though. I can't see Billy Joe Saunders making middleweight. You know, that I wish that he would, because I think that he'd be far more successful at middleweight. And I've always liked Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, I don't know him personally or anything, but as a boxer, I think he's one of the best talents that Great Britain's produced. Unfortunately, he spoils it for himself outside the ring, but yeah. Like a training, maybe like a Ben Davison. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Just boost his profile a little bit. Obviously, Isaac Lowe. People will remember him for getting starched by Nick Ball on the Fury White undercard. He's a guy who goes on social media. Listen, you may as well have my 9-year-old write out some of the things that Isaac Lowe puts out. I mean, you need a translator to understand it. You do. But you know what? Being able to read and write has nothing to do with boxing ability or boxing coaching. What does Isaac know about coaching fighters? Has he ever done it before? No. This is probably just something that they randomly spoke about while they were training this morning, and then Tyson went, right, you know what? You're going to be my trainer. Fury does spontaneous stuff. You want to fight Charlie? Yeah, same. Same. Exactly. I want to see him fight Charlie. That's what I want to see. Fury did say Del Boy will be his last fight. It won't be his last fight. It won't. I mean, if Del Boy beats him, it will be. But it won't be his last fight. It won't be. Not when there's that big carrot of an undisputed fight. Too much money to walk away from. But if Usyk defeats Joshua, I think there's more chance Fury will walk away and retire. If Joshua wins, I can see Fury taking the Joshua fight. Because again, Fury's a very smart guy. We can say what we like about him. He's very, very smart. he'll know that he has a better chance of defeating Joshua than he does Usyk. Fury don't like fighting these short, skillful guys. He don't like doing it, especially southpaws. He hates it. Boxer size Ben. Boxer size Ben. Is that Ben Davison? Ben Davison, he looked a little bit chubby. I see him in Newcastle a week and a half ago. He's put on a little bit of timber, you know. I think married life and that is adding a few pounds to him. It really is. Really is. He was doing the pads with Pat McCormack. He was, who I like. Pat's the future of boxing, I think. I do. Of course, Mark Dickinson, that was with him in that as well. So, no interest in that trilogy. No. And that's why Fury's doing it. He's only doing it so he can say he's the first heavyweight to have done 2 trilogies. But yeah, some of these very same people who are always trying to bring up rematch clauses and having a go at about Anthony Joshua, even though he's only about to have his second rematch. Literally, Joshua's about to have his second rematch, whereas Fury's trying to get his second trilogy. You know, I mean, and of course he's had rematches and that in the past and that as well. So, are these same people going to hold that energy? No, of course they're not. You like Eubanks by stoppage? Yes. Yes. We know Conor Benn can give it, but can he take it? We've seen that he couldn't take it against Paynard. Imagine that's Chris Eubank Jr. throwing those punches. Yeah, we saw him get battered by mediocre Wallen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Taylor versus Serrano. Serrano moved up to weight division. Nobody said about weight difference. That fight was a cracker, although it was female fights and lighter weights, but let's hope it's in a fight. Yeah, you see, that fight was, again, that was more about, again, you see, you have to remember that Katie Taylor she's not naturally at the weight that she is. She's actually putting on weight to continue the weight. She's actually a smaller fighter. She is, in theory. But at the same time, Serrano's been around for a long, long time, a very long time. And don't do 2-minute rounds, you know. But I do question, though, what the board have got to say about this fight. I do. Yeah, exactly, Krista Green. That's what I mean. Hopefully it's not going to be another Michael Watson. That's what I hope too. What's the weight at? 156, I hear. 156 pounds. So Chris Eubank Jr. will have to lose 4 pounds, even though Eubank usually weighs 158, 159 anyway. And Conor Benn's going to have to put on 9 pounds. So Nick Ball's tough fight. Nick Ball's a very good fighter. And of course he fought since that Isaac Lowe fight as well. Very good guy. Very good guy. You've got Ben winning for some reason. If it goes to the points and if Conor Benn's competitive, they'll probably give it to Conor Benn. Obviously, he's a home fighter, Matchroom. Even though Wasserman are involved, but listen, it's a Matchroom show, isn't it? So, won't surprise me. MC Boswell, I'll give Chisora, AJ, and Usyk equal chance of being Fury. Chisora gave Usyk more work than AJ did. I still say Usyk was playing with Chisora. He was holding back because he knew the Joshua fight was coming up. He didn't want to give away too much. I think he was actually playing with Chisora. If you watch it back, he could have got Chisora out of there at any point in the second half of that fight. But he decided not to. He was playing with him. Toby, Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier 3 times, and did he fight Ken Norton 3 times too? I can't remember. No, he fought Ken Norton twice. Oh, actually, did he? I have to Google that actually. I'm sure he fought Ken Norton twice though. I want to investigate that, Toby. So I can crack like a morpho man. Yeah. I heard it was 158 cash weight. Oh, is it? Okay, so Eubank is going to come in at his normal weight then. Because Eubank, even though he's a middleweight, 160 pounds, he usually comes in between 158, 159. That's usually what he weighs at. So, okay, Stuart says he's 156, 100%. Okay. Okie dokie. Norton beat Ali twice unofficially. Right, you know what, guys? I need to shoot off. I need to shoot off. How long are we doing? An hour and a quarter. I mean, my plan was only to do a half hour. So, all right, I want to set up because obviously with my kids being off school and have some holidays, I should have more time in an evening to do more live streams and that. So we should be doing plenty of these over the coming weeks. All right, and I'll try and give people a bit of notice as well, just so everybody knows the time and whatever else. So again, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Big up to everybody. Appreciate all of you, all the channel members, all those of you who are regular, those of you who are new. Welcome. Thank you very much for the super chats to the three of you who did so today. I appreciate that. So big up to all of you. Peace. Subscribe.